Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to be diving into this blog post. It's called 10 Simple Habits to Transform Your Life in 30 Days. It's packed with tips and tricks
Wow.
for transforming your life. And I have to admit, I'm pretty intrigued by it. What do you think? Can we really change everything in just 30 days?
That's the big question, isn't it? The post does tap into some interesting research on habit formation, but it's important to remember that transformation is a journey, not a destination. 30 days might be a great starting point, but the real magic is in the consistent effort over time.
Okay. So let's break down these habits. The first one they highlight is gratitude. The post suggests starting each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for, and they link this directly to better mental health. They even cite a study from UC Davis that found practicing gratitude can increase well-being by a whopping 25%.
Yeah.
What's your take on that connection between gratitude and well-being?
It's fascinating how something as simple as acknowledging what we're thankful for can have such a significant impact on our mental state. And the research from UC Davis isn't an outlier. There's a growing body of evidence highlighting the benefits of gratitude for reducing stress, improving sleep, and even boosting our immune system. It's like a positive feedback loop. The more we focus on what's good, the better we feel, and the more reasons we find to be grateful.
I love that. A positive feedback loop. It makes you want to grab a notebook and start listing things right now, doesn't it?
Right.
I know I'm feeling a bit more grateful for this deep dive already.
That's the spirit. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Even small things count. A sunny morning, a delicious cup of coffee, a kind gesture from a stranger. These are all moments worth acknowledging and appreciating.
Right. It's about savoring those small joys that often go unnoticed. Okay. So gratitude is habit number 1. Next up, we have hydration. The post talks about how drinking water first thing in the morning kickstarts your metabolism and all sorts of other good stuff. But they really emphasize keeping it simple. Just a glass of water by your bedside so you can reach for it as soon as you wake up. They even have a pro tip to add lemon for a detox boost. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, the lemon detox claim might be a bit overstated, but the underlying message about the importance of hydration is spot on. Our bodies are about 60% water, and every cell and system relies on it to function properly. We lose water throughout the night through breathing and perspiration, so starting the day with a glass of water helps replenish those fluids and gets everything running smoothly.
They make it sound like a magic bullet for everything from energy levels to digestion. Is it really that powerful?
I wouldn't say it's a cure-all, but staying adequately hydrated definitely has a ripple effect on our overall health and well-being. Studies have shown that even mild dehydration can impact our cognitive function, mood, and energy levels. So while it might not solve all your problems, starting your day with a glass of water is a simple yet effective way to set yourself up for success.
And if adding lemon makes it more enjoyable, why not, right? It's all about finding those little tweaks that make these habits easier to stick to. Speaking of sticking to habits, habit number 3 is all about exercise. And don't worry, they're not talking about marathon training here. The post emphasizes that just 10 minutes a day can make a difference, citing research from the Mayo Clinic about the benefits for both physical and mental health. What's your perspective on this short bursts approach to exercise?
It's really encouraging to see this shift in thinking about exercise. For a long time, the message was all about intensity and duration, hitting the gym for an hour or more several times a week. But research is increasingly showing that even short bouts of moderate intensity exercise can have significant benefits for our cardiovascular health, mood, and cognitive function. And what's even more important is that these short bursts are more accessible for people with busy schedules or who might be new to exercise.
So it's not about punishing yourself with grueling workouts, but rather about finding ways to move your body that you actually enjoy and can fit into your daily routine. They mention things like following a quick YouTube workout or going for a brisk walk, things that feel doable even on those super busy days. What are some other ways you can squeeze in those 10 minutes of movement?
Absolutely. You can take the stairs instead of the elevator, do some stretches while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, or have a dance party with your kids in the living room. It's about finding those opportunities to move throughout the day and making it fun. The key is to make it a habit, something you do automatically without having to think about it too much.
Okay, so we've got gratitude, hydration, and exercise. 3 simple yet powerful habits to start our day off right. Now, the next 2 habits in the list are interesting because they go hand in hand. Decluttering and mindfulness. The post draws a connection between a clutter-free space and a calmer mind. suggesting that tidying up our physical surroundings can actually lead to a sense of peace and clarity mentally. What are your thoughts on that connection?
There's a growing body of research that supports this connection. Studies have shown that clutter can increase stress levels and make it harder to focus. Our brains are wired to pay attention to our surroundings. And when our environment is chaotic, it can create a sense of overwhelm and mental fatigue. On the other hand, when our physical space is organized and tidy, it can create a sense of calm and order that translates to our mental state.
This is like decluttering your mind by decluttering your space. They even have this fun fact in the post that clutter-free spaces have been linked to better focus and creativity.
And it makes sense, right? When you're not constantly bombarded with visual distractions, your brain has more bandwidth to focus on the task at hand. And when you're not feeling stressed and overwhelmed by clutter, you're more likely to be in a relaxed and receptive state of mind, which is essential for creativity.
So how do we put this into practice? The post recommends tackling one small area each day, like a drawer or a countertop, rather than trying to overhaul your entire house at once. Do you think that's a good strategy?
Absolutely. Small, consistent steps are key to creating lasting change. It's much more sustainable to declutter for 15 minutes each day than to spend an entire weekend overwhelmed by a mountain of stuff. And remember, it's not about achieving perfection. It's about making progress. Every item you declutter is a step towards a calmer, more organized space. And that's where mindfulness comes in. The post suggests practices like deep breathing or meditation to further enhance the benefits of decluttering. It's like a 1-2 punch for a calmer, more focused you.
It's interesting how they connect those two habits, decluttering and mindfulness. It's almost like you're saying that outer order can lead to inner peace. And they back this up with research from Harvard Medical School, highlighting the benefits of mindfulness for stress reduction and overall well-being. I'm curious, for someone new to mindfulness, where would you even suggest they start?
That's a great question, and it's something I get asked a lot. There's so many different approaches to mindfulness, it can feel overwhelming. But the good news is, it doesn't have to be complicated. One of the simplest and most accessible ways to start is with focused breathing. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes if you'd like, and simply bring your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of the breath as it enters and leaves your body. You can even count your breaths if that helps you stay focused.
That sounds easy enough. I think even I could manage that. But what about those racing thoughts that inevitably pop up?
That's perfectly normal. The goal isn't to stop thinking altogether, but rather to notice those thoughts without judgment and gently redirect your attention back to your breath. It's like training a puppy. You have to be patient and persistent. Over time, with practice, you'll find that you're able to stay present for longer periods and observe your thoughts without getting swept away by them.
It's like building a mental muscle, right? The more we practice, the stronger we become. Okay, so we've covered decluttering and mindfulness, which brings us to habits 6 and 7. Reading and planning. Now, reading for pleasure is something I can totally get behind. But the post specifically recommends reading for just 15 minutes a day, citing benefits like mental stimulation and stress reduction. Do you think that's enough to make a real difference?
Even 15 minutes a day can have a cumulative effect, especially if you're consistent. Reading engages different parts of the brain. It exposes us to new ideas and perspectives. And it can be a wonderful form of escapism, allowing us to step out of our daily stresses and enter different worlds.
And they're not just talking about curling up with a good novel, right? They specifically suggest audiobooks as a great alternative for people on the go, particularly those who spend a lot of time commuting. It's like sneaking in a bit of mindfulness instead of mindless scrolling.
Absolutely. And that's a great point about the mindful aspect of reading. When we're immersed in a good book or listening intently to an audiobook, we're fully present in that moment, not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. It's a form of mental training that can help us cultivate a sense of calm and focus in other areas of our lives.
Okay, so reading, even for a short time each day, can have a big impact. Now, habit number 7 is all about planning, and it's one that I personally struggle with. The post suggests taking a few minutes each night to plan out your day for tomorrow, writing down your top 3 tasks, and even choosing your outfit to avoid decision fatigue. Do you think that kind of pre-planning really makes a difference? And can't we just go with the flow?
Well, spontaneity has its place. Having a plan can reduce stress and increase productivity. Our brains have limited decision-making power, and the more decisions we have to make throughout the day, the more depleted that power becomes. By planning ahead, we free up mental space to focus on more important tasks.
It's like giving your future self a roadmap, so you're not starting each day feeling lost and overwhelmed. And I can see how choosing your outfit the night before could eliminate those frustrating I have nothing to wear moments. It's all about simplifying those small decisions that can drain our energy. Okay, let's move on to the final three habits: affirmations, screen time, and learning new skills. Now, affirmations are something I've always been a bit skeptical about, but the post really emphasizes their power to rewire our brains for positivity. They even mention how repeating positive statements can improve our mood and outlook. I have to admit, I'm intrigued. What's the science behind affirmations?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, our brains are incredibly adaptable, and that includes the way we think and feel. When we consistently repeat positive affirmations, we're essentially training our brains to focus on those positive thoughts and beliefs. This can lead to changes in our neural pathways, making it easier to access those positive feelings and reducing the power of negative thought patterns.
So it's not just about wishful thinking. It's about actively shaping our mental landscape. The post suggests writing down three affirmations and repeating them each morning. Things like, I am capable, I attract positivity, or I am growing every day. Simple, yet potentially powerful.
Exactly. And the key is to choose affirmations that resonate with you and feel authentic. Don't just parrot phrases that you don't believe. Find statements that align with your values and aspirations, and repeat them with conviction. The more you embody those positive beliefs, the more likely they are to take root and blossom.
Okay, so affirmations are all about rewiring our brains for positivity, which brings us to habit number 9, which is all about unwinding those brains before bed by reducing screen time. This one seems pretty straightforward, especially given all the research about how the blue light emitted from our devices can disrupt sleep and increase stress levels.
It's one of the simplest yet most impactful changes we can make for better sleep and overall well-being. Creating a screen-free buffer zone before bed allows our brains to produce melatonin, the hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
The post suggests setting a no-screen rule 30 minutes before bed and replacing scrolling with activities like reading, journaling, or taking a warm bath. It sounds like a recipe for a good night's rest.
And it's about creating a ritual that signals to your body and mind that it's time to wind down. The consistency of this routine can be incredibly powerful in training your brain to associate those activities with relaxation and sleep.
And finally, we have habit number 10, which is all about dedicating time to learn a new skill. The post highlights the importance of challenging ourselves and nurturing our sense of curiosity and growth. They suggest setting aside 15 to 20 minutes each day to explore a new hobby or skill, anything from learning a new language to taking up photography.
I love this habit because it speaks to our innate human desire to learn and grow. Learning new skills keeps our minds sharp, boosts our confidence, and can even open up new opportunities.
And it doesn't have to be something grand or ambitious. It could be as simple as learning to knit or trying out a new recipe. The key is to find something that sparks your interest and brings you joy.
Exactly. And the more we engage in activities that challenge us and make us feel alive, the more fulfilling and meaningful our lives become.
So we've covered all 10 habits: gratitude, hydration, exercise, decluttering, mindfulness, reading, planning, affirmations, screen time, and learning new skills. It's a pretty comprehensive list. And I have to say, I'm feeling inspired to give some of these a try. The post actually suggests a 30-day challenge. The idea being that if you focus on one or two of these habits consistently for 30 days, you're more likely to make them stick. What do you think about that time frame?
It's a great starting point. Research suggests that it takes around 21 to 30 days to form a new habit, but it's important to remember that everyone's different. Some habits might click more easily than others, and some might take longer to integrate into your routine. The key is to be patient with yourself. Celebrate those small wins along the way, and not get discouraged if you have a slip-up.
It's about progress, not perfection, right? And the post even includes some personal testimonials from people who have seen real benefits from incorporating these habits into their lives. It's always inspiring to hear real-life examples, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It makes these concepts more relatable and tangible. Hearing how someone else has transformed their life through small, consistent changes can be incredibly motivating. It reminds us that we all have the power to create positive change in our own lives.
Right, it's not just some abstract theory. It's something that real people are doing and seeing results from.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these 10 habits, I want to circle back to the idea of transformation. The blog post frames these habits as a path to transforming your life in 30 days. But as we discussed earlier, real transformation is an ongoing journey.
Exactly. It's not about reaching some fixed endpoint. It's about continuously evolving and striving to become the best versions of ourselves. These habits are tools that can help us along that journey. But the real transformation happens within us, in our mindset, our beliefs, and our commitment to growth.
It's about embracing that growth mindset, right? Being open to learning, experimenting, and adapting along the way. And I think that's a powerful message to leave our listeners with, that even small changes consistently applied can lead to profound shifts in our lives.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that we have the power to create the life we want, one small habit at a time.
So if you're interested in learning more about building habits